Hi, my name is Hannah, and you're with the Sip Sip Show.
I wrote another letter to Menteri Dalam Negeri lah, also Tia Kanalayan. So, what better way for me to ask for help than to ask kita punya Chief Minister
Yes.
also. I went to Putrajaya, I went to uh, Chief Minister punya office lah untuk hantar surat. Still nothing.
Hey, what's up? Thanks for tuning in. Selamat kembali ke The Sip Sip Show, brought to you by Globest dan Berhad, KKIFF, Alta for the lights. Siapa lagi?
Yourself for the mics.
My come on. and some of the rent. Chris is here by the way. Ahmad and Ate sibuk mengandung. Okay, this week is I don't know. This few weeks has been very interesting for the Sip Sip Show because it's our first time to do like our how you say social responsibility gitu. So we were part of this forum for youth, and it's very different lah for us. Selalu stuff like this is only like kedai kopi. Now we're actually doing something, even though our part is like tidak berapa besar, but it's quite important juga lah, I feel. So we're gonna be talking about politics. Disclaimer: I am your friend. I have no professional experiences. I have no idea what I'm saying. Kalau what we're gonna do today, and please don't take my word seriously. But this person with me, take her seriously. Like this is like serious shit. Okay, Hafizah. With us today is Atalia May Mojuntin.
Jawa Mojun.
Jawa Mojuntin. Yeah. Oh, that's a very, very nice name.
Jawa is my dad's surname, Mojuntin is my mom's surname lah.
Oh,
Yeah.
so
Tapi dalam IC Jawa sajalah.
okay. Jawa that's a what, Kadazan name?
Yeah, it is.
Huh.
Yeah, I mean jarang dengar lah. People always say JAWA, but it's JAUA lah. Yeah. So it's mostly in the Ramaya Penampang area.
The Jawa descendants banyak kah? Macam first time saya dengar begini punya nama.
I mean it quite far because my great grandfather Bridget Jawa nama dia. So ada lagi my ancestors Jawa lagi di belakang or depan. Yeah. I need to ask my dad lah on my lineage. Yeah.
Right. Okay. What do you do?
So I just finished my law school di UiTM Shah Alam on August. So sekarang saya kira macam doing my social responsibility lah. So orang bilang menganggur lah, but then it's taking a rest lah. 5 years of law school, penat lah.
You deserve some rest lah.
Yeah. So I'm gonna start back chambering. Jadi macam ambil lesen lah jadi lawyer kan. Next year lah.
Right. Jen kau terlampau formal lah.
Okay. Okay ni.
Okay. What do you foresee doing law di sini? I mean now you're resting. Kalau kau tengah chill. How is life going to be as a lawyer in Sabah?
To me, kalau experiences kan, it's better to get in KL lah. Macam to get used to fast-paced work, semua macam tu. But in Sabah, according to the lawyers I've talked to lah di sini, it's more slow paced, tapi the development of the law pun sangat slow lah. Yeah, so experience KL, but then if you want to be here, you wanna chill sikit, boleh lah. But to me, it's more of wanting to be close to the community and do something for the community lah, macam tu.
Okay. I was asking that sebab kebanyakan orang yang saya tahu grad saja terus kerja KL. Do their best di sana, kumpul banyak duit, dan baru fikir mau balik Sabah ke tidak, begitu. So I think that will go to a bigger topic later. But I want to stick to your identity lu, kau punya cerita, kau punya family ni segini.
Okay.
So you're a descendant of a very cool person.
I agree.
Super cool.
Dia cool lah, yeah.
Sorry kalau saya tidak tahu dia punya panggilan. So is it Datuk atau Datuk Seri?
Dia Datuk saja.
Datuk saja.
Yes.
Datuk Peter Mojuntin.
Datuk Peter Mojuntin, Peter Joynod lah. Joynod tu nama kadazan dia lah.
Oh, okay. Peter Joynod Mojuntin. So off cast, I was asking her, did you get to meet your granddad? Yang bodoh punya soalan.
It's okay.
I'm sorry for that. So yeah, okay, for people yang tidak tahu, so she's going to tell about this person, and okay, let you talk first. Kau cuba kau cerita dulu siapa Peter Joynod Mojuntin?
So Peter Joynod Mojuntin, he's born and raised di Kampung Hungab Penampang lah. So he grew up with a Kadazan father and a Sino Kadazan mother lah.
Okay.
So he grew up, his family was quite poor lah. Quite poor. And he had, I believe, kalau saya ingat, 2 older brothers lah. So these brothers, diorang work hard to get him to school, kasih beli dia basikal. Dia sekolah dari Penampang, dia naik basikal pergi Sacred Heart di KK untuk pergi sekolah. Yeah, just to get education.
St. Michael ke mana?
Tidak. Only, that is sekolah rendah lah. Bila dia sekolah menengah, sudah baru dia pergi St. Michael.
Okay.
Yeah. So, when he was in school, what I learned lah, saya baca biografi dia, dia punya cikgu-cikgu bilang, he was a very bright student. Dia sangat kuat tanya lah. Although he was small as a kid, kurus-kurus, dia orang bilang, memang semangat tu nampak lah. Dia ada leadership dari kecil lagi, dia bilang. So as he grew up, I believe people saw potential in him. Dia jadi cikgu dulu in St. Michael. Jadi cikgu, and then dia berani menyuarakan diri lah. Walaupun contoh cikgu lain yang kena marah kan, but he knows cikgu tu tidak bersalah, dia pergi defend lah. So meaning, he tries to defend people yang innocent lah. So in that way, saya rasa it came to the point where Tun Fuad, at the time Donald Stephens lah, he saw this potential, terus dia macam mau recruit lah Peter Mojuntin as his
Apa kau
protege.
panggil Aki?
Saya tidak sempat jumpa dia, saya tetap mau panggil. But my family calls him daddy lah macam tu.
Okay.
Yeah. So yalah, dia kena recruit, and that's how his first encounter with politics lah, bila dia kena recruit oleh Donald Stephens.
Oh. So, okay, jump terus lah. The coolest thing that he did was the drafting of the 20 perkara.
Yeah, he helped draft the 20 points lah, not him alone. Ada juga a few people. And then he also helped with anything with Tun Fuad Stephen lah. Dia tolong draft letters, papers, and also had a say lah in most of the things yang in the formation of Malaysia. He was working behind the scenes lah because dia masih muda compared to Donald Stephens. So he gave opinion. Sorry, people don't really see that at the time lah. See juga, tapi only the closest people yang know him lah. And then bila orang cerita balik, baru orang tahu begitu. But he was known to be like, oh lepas Donald Stephens dia lah ni, begitu.
Oh,
That was the
predecessor dia lah.
macam tu.
Your mom was how old when he died?
I think he passed in 1976. My mom was born 1972.
Astaga.
Yeah, 4 years old.
Yeah. Bonus question. Is he part of our history? Like, is he in our history textbooks in school?
Tiada. When I was in sekolah menengah kan saya flip lah. Saya dengar-dengar, because at the time I didn't know how famous my grandfather is lah begitu. So kalau dia famous kenapa dia tidak dalam buku? That was my thought lah. But I saw Donald Stephens punya name lah. But I've always knew he was someone lah. Sebab ada orang bilang di Dongongon ada dia punya statue kan. Oh, okay. Gitu saja saya at the time. Because I was still, apa yang saya belajar di sekolah, itulah yang saya tahu. Begitu.
I guess time tu pun kita terima saja apa yang kena ajar kan.
Betul.
Did it seem funny when jalan pergi rumah kau dia punya nama jalan, I mean like the statue. What macam mana kau boleh realize yang wait a minute, kenapa begini?
I think it was because I think it was the first time yang saya kena bawa pergi the 66 Memorial di Sembulan.
Okay, yeah.
So, kenapa banyak orang berkumpul ni? Then I baca lah ni nama-nama yang ada that perished in the crash. Oh, gini pula cerita dia, gini. Okay, now I understand who he is. He's a politician. He's someone important, but unfortunately, sadly passed away in the crash. Okay. Begitu saja. I mean, gradually lah. It was only until my actually almost 20s lah, 19, 20 begitu, baru saya macam okay wait, besar pula impact dia ni. Yeah. That's why I know he had a book. Saya tahu my uncle macam and also my dad kan, ini buku ni kena ban ni, begini-begini. Kenapa kena ban? Saya bilang, I ask myself lah, saya tidak tanya because saya tidak minat kan benda-benda macam tu. Only when I was 19, 20, bila saya really baca tu buku kan, oh my gosh, saya bilang, dari macam,
sebelum kau start with the book,
okay,
because this is really important. My perspective
yes,
on this person is just a picture, entah apa, gambar Raja A, dia bilang kan. So ada satu gambar hitam putih, a plane crash punya scene, and then dia tulisannya tragedy 66 in our textbooks. There wasn't names. I think Donald Stephens je lah, biar nama salah. The rest macam tidak kena mention. And for the longest time, sampai recently I guess, it was just that. Oh, ini plane crash. Even the plane kan, saya tahu itu plane macam mana besar ni kapal lah. What kind of kapal ni? And it was, I'm not trying to provoke anything, but if it does, then boleh buat lah. The picture in my school textbook looks insignificant. So bila kau nampak pun macam, oh, they died. So what? And then I started painting. I started doing artworks. Then people give their best to do artworks yang related to the 66 tragedy bah. So macam, kenapa ni barang begini ya? Then you see like, oh ini orang, they died because of this. And then there was something happened. We're not really sure what happened that time. And I realized yang, oh ada banyak benda yang kita tahu. And why is it not in our history books? I mean, kami bukan mau mengutuk kerajaan kah atau mau kasih marah siapa-siapa, but we just want to know why is something important not told. Is our history not important enough? So, book.
Okay, Okay lah, I talk about the history first lah yang
Okay.
because actually kan Sabah under our autonomy MA63,
Okay.
actually kita ada kuasa for our own education bah. We can control our own history, kita buat buku teks sendiri sebenarnya. But somehow we lost that right lah. And yes, we should get that back. Sebab banyak history Sabah actually tidak kena bagi tahu dalam buku sejarah. What we know is Hang Tuah, Parameswara. But Sabah punya adalah Mat Saleh, but a mere, I would say, paragraph saja pasal dia.
2 pages.
Ya, kalau rentap di Sarawak pun sama juga. So not
Oh my
much. We had the Double Ten Uprising. Itu satu Kinabalu gerila lah, kena panggil. Led by Albert Kwok, masa lawan the Japanese di sini. That is our history. Then when nearing World War II sudah, kita ada Sandakan Death Marches where to orang Australia, orang British datang sini tolong North Borneo at the time lah untuk lawan ni Japanese. So that is also our history. Itulah ada Petagas War Memorial sana. That is their own history. Sana Kundasang ada War Memorial. Itu juga. So people go there kan macam, oh memorial itu saja. But they don't know. Saya tahu lah kalau orang ada baca tu plek-plek sana. But then that's all they know.
Okay.
Kan?
Sedih kan?
Sedih.
Fun fact. Very, very fun. Saya tahu ini orang stone ke apa. So, kalau kamu yang tahu di cerita, diam-diam saja.
Funny.
So, there was this guy.
Yeah.
Yesterday, dia call di BKK. Saya mau claim balik itu Petagas War Memorial, dia bilang.
Hah? Seriously?
Itu memorial saya punya, dia bilang.
Hai?
Kita bilang apa? Gila dia orang. So kawan-kawan saya semua yang, wih, ini orang mabuk. So dia cakap lah, dia bilang ini dia punya geran tanah lah apa semua. Dia ini tempat saya punya. Dia bilang, tidak lah uncle, dia bilang, ini GZ kerajaan lah. Dia bilang, ini tanah government lah. Dia bilang, wih, mengamuk. Dia mau komplain sini, komplain sana. Okay, habislah cerita. Nanti dia jadi pelik pula.
Okay.
Kita sambung. Because we just know that much. Dia tidak macam kami just dismiss like, okay, we're gonna find out, but we cannot decide anything. So it was weird lah. Yesterday was weird. Okay, sambung.
Okay. So, apa pasal the book kata tadi?
The book, yes.
Okay, so my grandfather ada biography lah, but it was written by a politician/author from Melaka. So it was named the Golden Son of the Kadazan. It was written on the same year of the crash lah. So I think the crash was in June 1976. So maybe towards the end of the year lah. But it was banned on the same year. Yeah, it was banned under Internal Security Act. ISA. So orang bilang ini kasih disturb public peace ataupun akan cause racial disharmony macam tu. So I think at the time of course orang bantah lah, but Sabahan punya voices the time tidak kena layan lah, boleh dia cakap. So fast forward pergi 2012, ini Internal Security Act ni dia kena repeal, maksudnya kena buang lah, tidak terpakai. So saya belajar law kan, dia macam once the law is repealed, meaning the apa-apa yang ban under it ataupun yang restricted under it boleh lifted lah.
Yes.
But they made another akta called SOSMA. So sudah kena repeal, dia buat balik, dia kasih ban balik tu buku under a different act lah. So the question that is raised is, okay lah, ada orang, the latest one is from Zahid Hamidi lah. Dia bilang in 2016 or 2018, this book still cannot be banned because nanti takut racial disharmony. But if you actually read the book, dia tidak beza sama buku-buku politician lain bah. Dia macam, okay, this Peter Mojuntin fought for freedom of religion. Dia tidak suka orang paksa orang lain untuk convert ataupun speak up for injustice. So people macam ini perkara biasa.
Yeah.
he's a politician. That's his job untuk fight for these things. And if you see macam even buku the most prestigious punya politician pun, let's say kita punya Perdana Menteri pun Anwar Ibrahim, banyak buku dia. And his books is also lebih kurang, not even more, I would say,
Thought-provoking.
yeah, thought-provoking. So I don't see the problem. So that's when I wrote a letter to PM lah.
You wrote a letter to PM.
Yeah. So I wrote a letter, saya bilang, hello, I'm the granddaughter of Peter Mojuntin. So I feel like you should review this book, bring it to parliament kah, ataupun get KDN, Kementerian Dalam Negeri to
Wait, PM time tu siapa?
last year, Anwar Ibrahim
Oh,
lah.
okay.
Yeah.
Right.
So I say like this lah, macam ini perjuangan seorang politician. Saya cakap apa dalam tu? You claim that anak Melayu, anak Cina, anak India, anak Kadazan, Iban, semua anak saya. So this is one of the anak Kadazan that fight for equality, for justice. Tapi saya cakap lah, you failed him. Tapi you should at least consider getting his voice out there. And since you are orang bilang dia terkenal sebagai reformist lah.
Yes.
Reformist. So this is your time to prove this. Jangan sama macam previous lah macam tu. But tidak kena layan. I mean, adalah dia cakap, okay, forward this to KDN. Okay, I wrote another letter to Menteri Dalam Negeri lah. Also tidak kena layan. So, what better way for me to ask for help than to ask kita punya Chief Minister?
Yes.
Also, I went to Putrajaya, I went to Chief Minister punya office lah untuk hantar surat. Still nothing. But of course, there are banyak leaders Sabahans yang advocate for this book to be lifted by the ban. My uncle, Iwan Benedict. Sorry lah, saya tidak akan mention honorifics. But just know saya memang hormat lah. Banyak lah. And I included that to the letter. Saya insert nama diorang, date, and also the article that said yang diorang mau ni buku ban. Still nothing. So I feel like, imagine next year is the 50th anniversary of the 66 tragedy. So
50 years.
50, wait up. 86, 96, 06, 16. Betul lah, 50 years. And the book has not, the punya ban not lifted ba. And bila the irony is, saya tahu kalau saya kena tangkap lah kalau saya cakap ni. But that online version, PDF version, free ba di internet sekarang. Kalau kau search the Golden Son of the Kadazan, ada di Google.
Oh.
So the ban is macam macam nothing, dia macam begitu saja. But yang sad, because of that, to original author tidak get credited ataupun dia punya kerja betul, not appreciated lah, tidak dapat maybe commission or apa. So
Is he still alive?
no. Tapi family dia is still around lah.
Okay.
Yeah. So if anything, should the ban be lifted, of course it will be published lah, and should be sold physically.
Yeah.
Supaya orang ni kan kalau baca online pun sakit mata kan. Mesti juga buku yang depan mata begitu. And dia menggalakkan orang membaca juga lah.
Wow. That is very, very cool. Like imagine lah if it was published. Macam ini satu dokumen yang sangat lama untuk kena produce ni sampai dia jadi buku yang boleh jual. How do you feel when you know and you feel all this and you're at the center ba Bukan bilang kau nampak ini barang, kau bukan baca ni. You live in his house, begitu. So, you as a person, apalah kau punya perasaan?
I feel like, of course, I tidak pernah jumpa dia lah. But I feel like I know him from the stories people tell me lah. My grandmother, my uncles, aunties, and his friends lah. They all have nothing bad to say lah about him. All good things. So I feel like if this many people like him and macam respect him, meaning he's a very good leader lah. Even when he started in politics kan, dia jadi adun di Moyog. Dia memang confirm menang lah orang bilang. From the beginning of Malaysia tu, dia jadi adun Moyog sampailah dia punya death lah. So it was truly, nampak lah, the trust on him is very strong. Sampai sekarang, this is all credit to him bukan saya mau boasting, tapi it shows dia punya competency, dia punya legacy, not mine. His legacy, ada jalan raya under his name, ada sekolah under his name. Di Saint Michael, okay lah nama dia Saint Michael, tapi tu Dewan is named after him. Dia ada tugu. And he's like one of the few people yang ada tugu of himself. Even Donald Stephens tiada. But he has, Donald Stephens pun ada road under him and he has a park. But
Yeah, kan?
yeah.
Damn, okay.
So, meaning, I admire, even if he wasn't my grandfather kan, I admire him lah. So, ini macam, still sad because macam still tiada people, any leaders yang embody him lah. Not just him, the people that he was with also. Itulah orang selalu romanticize ni Double Six punya leaders. Sebab orang tidak akan balik-balik, what if kalau kita memang ada leaders macam tu sudah bah. But of course we cannot grieve forever. Kita mesti move forward, do something lah. Because kita tu boleh kasih hidup balik mah. So kita yang mesti hidupkan diorang dalam diri kita. Macam tu.
Dulu I used to volunteer in a youth youth center di Youth Prep Alam Mesra. So dirang the people who runs the place, which was my wife, dirang ada bikin satu dia macam a mini election gitu. So time tu Iwan Benedict was younger. I think this was like more than 10-15 years ago. Ya kah? Has it been that long? Shit. Okay. Yeah, I think 10, lebih kurang gitu lah, 10-13 tahun lepas. So we had a few young leaders kena kasih kena kasih susun lah di sana. Dia macam untuk malam tu itulah kami punya election. So the university students dari UMS semua datang. So dia cerita lah kenapa saya masuk politik. Dia bilang so we had, I think, Ryan Su. Time tu dia apa? Saya lupa apa parti dia. So Iwan was talking lah. Belum lagi ada datuk apa seperti itu lah. So dia cakapkan he was going on and on about Peter Mojintin. Dia bilang kan satu saja benda yang saya buat saya mau masuk politics. It's this guy. Because kalau kita bukan kalau kita tidak emulate ini orang, macam tidak ada orang lain lagi yang saya boleh emulate. So at that time bila saya dengar, alah cakap saya lah. I had that lah, macam biasalah. Memang adalah something yang manis dia mau cakap. But years go by kan, until today, I don't know. Ya, banyak juga benda yang dia buat yang saya tidak agree. Tapi macam ada something yang dia buat tu kan yang buat saya teringat that night yang dia cakap pasal why he needs to emulate this guy. Terus yang macam ada juga, macam betul lah dia orang cakap. So like you said, you make that person live in you, and yeah, saya agree lah. I mean, even if we're not in politics, if we're just living our daily lives kan, macam ini barang penting, but you have a leader in your in. I guess I'm being Christian when I say ada Holy Spirit dalam kan begitu. So when you have that spirit of a person yang I mean kalau kau lagi lah kau kenal, I mean kau nampak gambar dia di rumah makali, and it makes sense to emulate this guy. Itu salah sayang we don't have enough information on him.
Actually, I mean, to be fair, he was only 39 pa. Sangat muda when he passed. Oh, so imagine just a 39-year-old man being remembered sampai sekarang. He did what he could during his lifetime, but orang ingat dia sampai sekarang, which is something, says something about him lah.
Kan? It's almost like spiritual ni. Because you go over sudah apa macam kau boleh ingat dia buat gini, but when Iwan Benedict was talking about him kan, it transcends our physical knowledge bah. Dia macam ini orang boleh tinggal dalam otak kau rent free untuk bertahun-tahun and shape you to a person that you are today. That's something lah.
Betul. But I've seen a story, ada orang post di Facebook lah, ni uncle. I was sitting near the Tugu, kan ada restoran sana. Ada nih budak-budak lah pergi main-main sana. Siapa nih? Saya tidak tahu begitu. So when he heard that, dia rasa macam sedih lah. Because they know ada Tugu nih, tapi the children don't know who he is. So I think that plays a part in kita punya history lah, where kita tidak kena expose. Yeah. So the thought of kita punya history ni will never be told unless we do something. Hilang lah. Not just my grandfather, any history kita punya. Jangan nangis.
No. It's just a very epic moment. Okay, let's go to the next topic.
Okay.
Sorry, terus kena potong ni. Knowing what we know or what we don't know about this issue comes the next big thing. Apa? Prudu atau PRN. Ya,
Produce lah kalau ada S di belakang.
Bidal tu nama Prudu. Like okay, anti lompat party, that's like katak-katak, right? Dan sudah habis katak ada Prudu.
Macam go back
Kan,
lah
like,
kan.
yang,
Burudu.
dia makin kecil. Anyway, untuk orang yang first time vote, saya vote banyak kali sudah. Tapi macam, why does this Prudu now feels different?
I think what changed is social media lah, banyak menolong in getting the awareness out. So anak-anak muda sekarang nih, mungkin dulu maybe 5 years back or few years back lah, orang boleh cakap anak muda nih kurang tahu tentang politik semua. But sekarang I think we have proved that wrong lah. Bukan proof that wrong lah, but we have improved. Yeah, we have improved, and that showed in kita punya latest event program Babincang Kita. Bila kami panggil all these youth leaders untuk pergi satu tempat, lain-lain party, dan proof dorang punya worth lah, proof dorang punya knowledge as youth dalam politics. And I think it went well. And the fact that banyak orang datang, banyak orang tengok, youths, is maksudnya they are getting interested lah. They want to know their part in politics and how to make Sabah better. Yeah.
Ada orang panggil babi cincang kita.
Babi cincang.
It sounds almost. Nanti kau saya.
Bukan kau kayak yang suggest tu nama apa?
I know. Ada tuh. Nanti kau
Aduh.
babi cincang. Yang sadap itu. I feel memang social media play a very big role. Sampai sekarang semua ni parti-parti semua start to have their own cyber troopers untuk kasih sesat orang lain because they know how effective social media is. So saya punya kawan-kawan di office, kau tahu kah ini punya parti, itu punya parti, dia orang begini. Terus bilang, geng silakan. Itu Saitro tuh, geng silakan. Kau jangan dia percaya, kau mau dengar yang dari mulut dia orang sendiri. Iya, ini begini, ini AI, geng silakan. Terus yang jadi bingung lah sekarang, cyber trooper mana, AI mana. So, yeah,
I mean, social media is a good thing and a bad thing.
Yeah. And I feel like babi cincang kita, bah bincang kita was a very good platform because di sana with the live punya streaming, then you don't see so much Saitro. Dia orang yang kalau kau tengok macam genuine dia punya comments and people are like genuinely want to know siapa ni orang-orang semua. And the impact yang I see on myself bila saya tengok kan kadang-kadang keluar calon-calon yang baru-baru semua kan, kau tengok yang kenapa semua tua ni and you're really hoping yang you see a less old face. Terus bila kau tengok yang kau jadi gerigitan ni yang we want our people yang tidaklah terlampau banyak dia punya uban. Ini pun ada sudah ni. Tapi I want to see a version of leadership in Sabah yang bukan lagi kemarin punya bah. I guess going to bah bincang kita open I don't know a perspective yang baru untuk saya. I guess.
I mean,
you were in the co-organizing team. Kau yang betul-betul bekerja. What's your perspective on this?
Of course, sebab sekarang kan banyak yang mana parti sama undi ini macam mana undi parti kah undi calon. So me and the other co-organizers kami fikir, okay, how do we kasih wujud satu platform di mana everyone is non-partisan as organizers and boleh kasih kumpul semua ni supaya sebab kalau macam saya faham juga lah kalau parti yang organize benda ni panggil semua orang, memang orang ingat bias. So that's why NGOs yang paling ngam lah mau buat benda ni.
Betul.
Yeah. So when we decided to do this kan, kami rasa macam ada orang mau datang kan ya, that's the first thing. And then to speakers mau buat kan ni benda ni ya, begitu. So apa kita buat? Hantar saja nih surat, suruh orang datang gini.
Teradu.
Yeah, so we asked for the youth leaders lah of each party, but not 30 parties lah. We thought like kalau mau kasih muat kau tengok hari itu pun 10 orang penuh sudah. So who knows, we will do more in the future. Okay, itu satu lah. So we just called orang bilang the big players lah yang boleh. So of course we expected yang muda as in yang 20s lah. Tapi mungkin memang sibuk sudah sekarang kan. So they hantar siapa yang available and paling muda yang boleh dihantar lah. Which we said was below 39.
Okay.
So
Okay.
semua orang sana as far as I remember below 39 lah. So when we did that, sebab up to the point yang habis tu program baru saya rasa lega because starting tu kan okay kan ya nanti ada bergaduh kan ya ataupun kira orang mau datang kah begitu, only at the end okay we
Sampai
did
berdiri geng orang di belakang. Tidak muat.
Yeah, so I feel like okay we did something good lah. But then at the same time kan, saya rasa benda ni kan bare minimum bah
Yeah.
untuk saya buat. Cuma orang bilang very good. Tapi saya rasa macam no, this is just the starting point. We need to
It
go
should be
further.
better.
Yeah,
I mean, more people should organize things like this.
betul. Bukan apalah, but if I feel like we are still doing this in 5 to 10 years kan, yang macam still mau mengajar orang pasal unity bah paling basic, meaning saya rasa I have failed lah. Because benda ni sepatutnya tidak payah diajar bah. We should know, but of course I don't know, external punya influence kah, ataupun kami yang mewujudkan benda ni sendiri. So I hope for the best for the next 5 years lah, especially tengoklah siapa jadi kerajaan kali ni.
I was very happy bila saya nampak what was happening. I feel it was too safe. Saya macam ada juga yang, adakah yang dia tidak mau agree dengan dia pihak kawan sebelahnya? Bukan mau minta-minta lah, tapi macam kalau ada
Tidak.
friction sikit, macam siok sikit pak ini yang oh ya saya setuju ya. Adalah yang dibilang tidak setuju dia, because you guys use the pedal punya approach kan, which is okay. Tapi itu pun yang macam saya rasakan dia teragak-agak mau angkat because that shows his opinion bah, or her opinion. Saya lupa sudah siapa. My perspective, mungkin kau boleh jawab, I mean counter or anything. These political parties, not these political parties, these young politicians are macam terlampau under the shadows of their leaders or people they perceive as their superiors. So bila diorang duduk di sana kan, this is my perspective as a non-partisan punya disclaimer saya bukan cakap pasal siapa-siapa. This is everyone there. Safe to say, diorang semua ada perangai yang sama.
Lah.
Ya, rata-rata. Kamu kena tengok saya punya bos. Saya punya bos bagus. Kami punya manifesto best. What I understood about this platform yang kita bikin is for them bah, the youngs. So bila diorang naik sudah di pentas and they talk about someone else, macam saya rasa diorang tak faham ke apa yang kita minta, atau diorang tidak berani mau tunjuk orang diorang punya opinion masing-masing, because we give that to them for them to bercakap bukan pasal diorang punya bos bah, pasal diorang tu siapa. Kalau dia si Abu kan, dia cakap saya Abu and this is my opinion. Walaupun dia tidak sama dengan manifesto kami, tapi kalau kamu undi saya, beginilah saya buat. Begitulah. I was hoping things like that will happen. But diorang jadi macam ini kami punya modul dan kecil akan ikut dan bacalah. Gitu. So macam ada gergitan sikit lah. So what's your take on that?
I think our approach, I think dorang buat begitu sebabkan time constraint juga bah. So kami bagi dorang masa pun 5 minit, 2 minit macam tu kan. But what our intention was on the timing begitu, supaya tidak melarat, just straight to the point macam tu. And the questions pun, yang preset question tu kami bagi the night before actually.
Oh.
Because apa kami punya thought process is that kalau soalan macam ni dorang actually patut tahu jawab without referring mana-mana lah macam tu.
Yeah.
I mean boleh lah, you can write down your points macam tu. So about yang dorang terlalu cakap macam sama bos, pasal bos dorang tu, I think lumrah aku mesti cakap pasal bos. But yeah, I think what I was expecting also to see dorang punya own views lah. But apa dorang punya views is what the party punya view also. Begitu
juga kan. Kalau dia terus lari dan, apa kau buat sana? Bos kau join saya.
Yeah.
I think that happened between two parties. Dan bagus kau join bagus kau
Ada.
kan?
I think I heard that also.
Look back at the live punya session, kamu akan nampak tuh.
Gini.
Yeah, bagus kau join kami tu. Wow, okay. I think that was the most drama lah yang saya nampak.
Ada batu yang in the crowd. Mungkin kau belum sampai kali itu.
Apa tadi? Spill?
Not apalah, there was like some sort of uproar juga in the audience, but I believe kami handle it lah. We just say please respect the speakers.
I was there. Yes.
macam tu.
Itu kenapa tuh?
I think the audience ada yang ketawa batu when a speaker was speaking.
Oh.
Yeah, but I feel like there was a worry to me also lah. But I understand the tension semua because of this.
Yes. I guess this comes when you bring entourage lah kan. Dia punya penyokong and yalah kau dapat lah suara penyokong.
That's why, yeah, I think what you said also, we play safe lah because we don't want things like that to happen. Especially ada yang suggest by the audience yang dorang mau more one-to-one communication with the speaker, meaning dorang tanya live begitu. Tapi what us as organizers worry, dia akan target certain political party lah.
Yeah.
Dia macam, kenapa parti kamu begini. So we don't want
It became personal lah. It becomes
nanti
personal.
macam mana dia mau jawab. So
Yeah.
it becomes like the speakers will feel like the organizer tidak jaga that non-partisan punya principle. So
We
itu
can also get the rep yang diorang sengaja bikin ni platform untuk sabotage kami.
ya, nanti dorang bilang we planted this begini.
Kan.
We don't want that lah. So that's why we choose to filter the questions lah. Tapi bukan sebab we don't want to ask the hard questions. We don't want targeted questions. Macam tu.
Okay. Back to Prudu. How do I start to judge siapa yang saya mau pangkah? Because all this while memangkah ni pun saya dengar cakap mamak saya dengar cakap family, saya dengar cakap I guess the community. But now we have this undi parti kah calon atau kau mau autonomi untuk Sabah dia mesti begini atau kau mau dia apa ni status quo dia kena begitu.
Mau jadi macam Sarawak kan.
Ya, itulah. Kau tidak mau kah rasa kita punya gaji macam Sarawak? Yang wah, there's so many things yang jadi kalau saya pakai ini salah lah. Kalau saya pakai ini kita tidak dapat yang itu. So how election for dummies gitu.
Election for dummies. First of all memang susah di Sabah because you have 10 calon in one tempat. 10 parti bertanding. Ya ampun. So that already makes it hard because you have to research this 11 people.
Yeah.
Kalau 1-2 mungkin okay lah kamu compare. Tapi ni doi macam tu kan. So suka tidak suka you have to research lah. Bila orang tanya party first or candidate first, okay, it depends on your goals lah. If you want to choose which government or which party or which coalition to be the government, tidak kira ada punya calon siapa, kau pangkat tu lah. And also if you want to avoid certain party or certain coalition to form the government, kau jangan pangkat dia orang lah. So that is the concept of party first. Meaning you prioritize, macam kau rasa parti itu banyak calon yang bagus, cuma calon kau ngam-ngam yang tidak berapa bagus atau tidak karismatik lah. So, that is when you want your party first. Bila kau mau choose the government yang party or coalition to form the government. If you want to pilih calon,
Okay.
meaning you trust that calon, tidak kira dia parti apa, tidak kira siapa dia bekerja sama siapa-siapa, you trust that calon untuk bangunkan kau punya kawasan lah.
Okay.
So tidak kira dia opposition atau government. Kalau government dia dapat duit lah peruntukan untuk majukan kawasan. Tapi kalau dia opposition dia tidak duit unless the government provide some sort of allocation lah for that opposition punya kawasan. Kalau tidak duit,
Ada peruntukan kini Mai begitu kan?
ataupun kawasan ni perlu bantuan, boleh bagi sikit-sikit kah untuk buat ni longkang kah ni apa. That's all under the kuasa of the government of the day. Kalau nama bagi kah tidak. So contohnya Syed Saddiq.
Okay.
Syed Saddiq is opposition.
Okay.
Opposition MP lah di Muar. Dia tidak dapat peruntukan. Dia bilang, dia cakap, kenapa saya tidak dapat begini? So what he did? Dia jadi model.
Okay.
Bus.
TikTok segala.
Yeah. So that is his way of finding money for orang Muar lah. Meaning dia pandai cari duit, tidak kira dia government atau opposition. Untuk majukan kawasan dia lah. So kalau kau trust kau punya calon tu, walaupun parti apa dia, untuk cari duit, go ahead. Tapi kalau dia tidak duit, dia offer thoughts and prayers sajalah. Pergi kawin kamu, begitu saja.
Why do I feel like this thing is more of a personal thing? Macam I want to mention his name, Bung Mokhtar. He's famous for video-video dia menyanyi di time orang karaoke. Dia nyanyi karaoke di orang kawin. Yang ada kawin kah bertunang kah siapa tahu lah. Tapi ada yang muka dia yang ikut menari. And you see a nice side of him. And I feel like it's a very brilliant scheme yang dia ada di mana-mana. And macam-macam lah. Dia, how you say? Kalau dia ada duit kah, dia tidak ada duit kah, tapi he's always there. Itu, then it becomes personal for me. Oh dulu, siapa yang mama sakit, dia pergi tengok bah. And there are scenarios begini di tempat saya lah. Yang ini YB datang pergi tengok. Memang orang kampung yang mau minta duit ni, mau kasih hulur-hulur ni. They were I have memories yang dia datang just for rosary. Dia datang for just to be there. Terus yang this guy is nice and he's Muslim. So bila dia tinggal di area sini, so he needed help with DBKK. So dia pergi lah di office. Terus yang YB sudah kan, kau tak kenal saya lang, tapi saya ingat kau gini. Oh ya, langannya. Ya, and he still remembers my grandpa, my grandma. And terus saya terfikirkan, kenapa dia tidak in the scene lagi? Because saya tidak tahu dia buat kerja atau tidak, but he is emotionally present nih. So saya rasa macam maybe that's a good type of plan. I don't know.
Dia macam, of course, we are sedih juga lah bila, sebab kalau macam orang kala meaning dia tidak from government, dia menang kawasan dia, but then dia punya party itself dia dapat majority bah.
Okay.
So dia become opposition lah. So meaning he still won in his kawasan, cuma he's not government, which is sad lah. So I think not a bad thing lah, cuma if you vote calon first, but macam mana saya mau cakap ni ya? Of course it's sad bila tidak dapat, he's a good person tapi dia tidak dapat duit kan, so he does the best he can lah. But then it's up to the people in his kawasan whether they are happy with it or not, because they are the ones voting for him kan. So it's all dari kamu saja tuh. You choose your leaders. Okay, itu satu lah. Apa cakap tadi? Party first or calon first kan? Another one is if your goal is autonomy, local party lah. But autonomy, voting for local party is another thing. Whether any success atau any failure is on us, dia bukan dari orang luar. Meaning sendiri buat sendiri tanggung lah.
Yeah.
So are you ready to do something good while it's risky atau tidak? So ini advice yang non-partisan lah. So if you choose not to vote local party kan, dia macam meaning you still don't have trust in our leaders lah. Memang calon tu orang Sabah, but maybe the party is not local here. Bos dia masih di Semenanjung lah, but it all depends on you. What is best for Sabah or for your kawasan. But ni sama cakap lah, bila you vote purely on calon, meaning we don't know which party is gonna win last-last. Yang party ni menang sikit, party ni menang sikit, begini-begini. So what happens is nobody gets the majority. 70 plus seats mungkin dia ini menang 10, ini menang 20, begitu kan. That becomes hung government. Bila hung government ni, tidak orang boleh buat government lah. Meaning terpaksa coalition. So that's when semua orang pergi istana ataupun siapa-siapa lah yang okay.
That's happened in the last one, yeah?
Yeah,
Okay.
that is hung government lah. Semua pergi istana, pergi jumpa TYT. Okay, saya mau form government sama ini. Okay, cukup orang? Cukup. So itulah terjadi, orang bilang gabungan yang kau tidak suka. Because
so pangkat tu macam sama aja tu.
yeah lah. That's why it's important. Jadi you can get the picture lah. Memang susah mau kumpul the best calons in one party. So in the end of the day, hung government ada risk. Voting for one party yang kau rasa banyak calon yang bagus tapi kawasan kau macam not really likable. Kau imbang lah tu.
Oh man. I thought this episode is going to answer questions.
More question than answers. Unpredictable lah politics.
So what is certain? Apa yang
What is certain?
Yeah, what is certain?
Siapa yang tidak tahu?
Apa yang dong janji tu yang kita betul-betul boleh nampak, oh ini akan jadi. Oh my god. Okay. Kalau kau pun tidak tahu, then can you guys leave a comment? I don't know if this is down your alley.
Dia macam okay, if you really want to apa kan, okay, kau study lah tu parti, kau study tu calon kan. You study, just study tu kawasan sajalah. First study tu kawasan, kau tengok the history of the party and also the present. And the calon punya history and present. Sebab actually, of course, no party is perfect lah. But what matters is, kau boleh tengok lah, dorang sudah berubah kah? Ataupun they still the same kah? What has changed lah and what is still the same. Ada strong on their stance on Sabah punya rights, on apa, what have they done, ataupun dorang main cakap saja. Sampai puas hati kau. Masih ada masa lagi nih, dua minggu lagi.
Ada tu benar saya mau tanya kau. Because I feel like you would know this. Kan kita cakap pasal AI, Cytro tadi kan.
Yeah.
How do you do your research without seeing all this? I mean, kau nampak lah all this cyber trooper punya AI punya cerita apa semua ni yang tidak tiada ni. How do you see beyond that? How do you do research yang ilmiah sikit?
So what I started with was reading. Ini apalah, perlu masa sikit lah, but I read a lot of.
Dalam 2 minggu.
Oh my god. Okay lah.
Dalam 2 minggu.
2 minggu ah. You read multiple news outlets.
Oh.
Sebab bila kau baca satu saja, macam contohnya Daily Express saja kau baca kan, itu saja. Not to say that Daily Express is bad lah, but to gain more to gain more, kau boleh tengok cara lain-lain news outlet tulis kan. You read FMT, Daily Express, Star, New Straits Times. So you can see the differing way dorang word sama. Actually the best thing is kan sekarang musim campaign sudah soon. Kau pergi saja dorang punya markas-markas.
Itulah. But there are people yang tiada kesempatan mau pergi di markas-markas semua ni. Nanti dong scroll, inilah, itulah, segala. Habis saya tengok pun yang macam, saya tahu itu barang tipu, tapi it's so repeated sampai yang, oh mungkin betul kali ni. Dia cerita pasal kebanjiran PTI, tiada kerja sebab orang lain ambil kerja kita. Terus yang, Tolonglah. Kalau korang cincai kejap, bully siapa tu? But
Okay.
there are all these things yang kacau kita punya what we really need to see ni. Tapi yalah, I guess newspaper is a good thing.
Ya, tapi memang 2 weeks is not enough lah.
Kan.
But what to do? You just do the best you can. But what you can do, kalau macam next time in 5 years, bila it's time to vote again, tapi tidak. 2-3 years kita ada PRU for apa lagi kan, parlimen. So ada masa lagi, although that is parlimen, sekarang ni DU. So
Betul.
kau baca books lah paling bagus, because books tapi books pun boleh bias juga. That's why you need to read a lot of books lah. That's what I did. Saya baca history, perspektif si Tun Fuad, perspektif Hari Saleh, everyone lah. So mungkin kau rasa this guy is a bad guy, like this politician. Tapi bila you read at his side, mungkin kau akan faham lah. But kadang-kadang begitu, orang jahat kan. But then when you read his backstory kan, ada sedih juga. Ataupun you understand why this person became like that. But in the end, what he did, niat tidak menghalalkan cara. Begitulah. So keep learning, keep apa. But for this DU, apa yang terbaik lah. Macam kau last minute study exam lah. Begitu.
You're on, sabar. I like the approach yang kau cakap, walaupun dia jahat, but there's a backstory. Kenapa dia jadi begitu? It feels like a Disney movie ni. Yang kenapa, siapa? Maleficent jadi macam tu. Dulu dia bagus. Okay. How are you with time? Okay lah. Habis macam, saya rasa macam boleh digulung sudah. Banyak soalan yang best-best. Kalau saya mau tanya soalan, dia akan bias sudah sekarang.
Alamak.
From a non-partisan to a non-partisan, who's your favorite leader in Sabah?
Sabah.
Regardless of party lah.
Current leaders.
I mean, not your granddad lah.
Okay.
Itu buyuk lah.
Actually, none in particular lah. Meaning, saya puja ini.
Okay.
So, because, okay lah, sebelum I go into that, for example, what I talk in my sessions, cerita kedai kopi kan, what I tell people is, Sabah first, not party or politician first. So, apa yang saya cakap is, regardless if you minat politician or not, it doesn't mean, you really admire a politician, doesn't mean kau tak boleh question dia bah. So, for example, saya sangat minat Lee Kuan Yew lah, Singapore. Okay. But there are some things that I disagree with him or sakit hati sama dia lah. For example, what history tells us is Singapore yang invite Sabah, marilah kita sama-sama form Malaysia when Tun Fuad tidak mau. So, okay, they last Sabah agree lah. Tun Fuad was like, I'm for Malaysia, we are for Malaysia. The sad thing is, when Singapore decide to leave Malaysia, Sabah Sarawak were not consented bah.
Oh.
And it was known yang Tun Fuad sama Lee Kuan Yew ni macam best friends bah. So, there was a letter Tun Fuad wrote to Lee Kuan Yew yang dia betul-betul sakit hati lah because of this. So, when I read that letter kan, kau boleh tahu betul yang dia sakit hati sama Lee Kuan Yew lah. But, of course, dia ada perspektif lah, Malaya punya perspektif and Singapore punya perspektif bilang, memang kita tak boleh consult Sabah Sarawak at the time because kalau tidak, memang tidak akan keluar lah. But it doesn't change the fact that Sabah sakit hati. Then it transferred. Of course, when I read that, saya pun sakit hati lah. But regardless, I still admire Lee Kuan Yew for what he has done for Singapore. So to answer your question, siapa yang saya admire for what he did recently lah. Of course, Iwan Benedict lah. Because he resigned as federal minister. Dia, orang bilang, besar bah gaji federal minister and you have that top one of the top spot lah, voice in federal, and you decide to step down and stick to your principle for being Sabah first punya his party lah. So there was an act of bravery and memang risky lah. It risk his personal life or dia punya party lah, because his party, of course this was a mutual decision when they left PH lah, but meaning they are willing to risk, he is willing to risk his career to go on with this Sabah First punya agenda lah. So that is what one thing I admire that he did lah. Yeah.
Saya terimagine yang I know he would have his think tank team yang selalu sama dia, and when this thing comes yang okay geng, saya mau berhenti. What the fuck? memang pucat kan orang tu semua. But saya bukan mempromote APCO. I mean,
No. The
we're not promoting him.
The thing is, bila Star sama SAPP leave GRS also, the gabungan, diorang pun kena shame ba? And then when Warisan cakap dia mau tanding solo pun kena shame. But it depends on you lah, whether you macam betul-betul it's something to be ashamed of or not. But anything, you cannot please everyone lah. Whether you stay or where you go, you cannot please everyone. But that's just politics, and you can admire or you can hate it. But to me, as a Sabahan, this is not promoting again sepa-sepa. I just want to see, ada saya post di Instagram, if I say I want autonomy for Sabah, I want Sabah to be run by Sabahans, and I don't want corrupt politician, kenapa it offends you? I'm not mentioning any parties or anything. It's just something that I wish for Sabah. Kalau kau terasa,
Kepahal.
you do what's best for Sabah lah. What do you think is best for Sabah? That's what I think is best for Sabah.
Saya pun bukan mau mengipas Iwan, but that night in YPC, and when he resigned, it correlates ni. Terus yang, wah, he's really walking the talk.
Yeah. But there's also saying that kenapa bukan awal-awal lagi?
Betul.
Yeah. So
Betul.
still you cannot please everyone.
And then, sudah 40% yang ini punya cerita, baru kau mau berhenti.
Ya, kenapa kau masuk in the first place? Begitu.
Yalah, apa boleh buat lah. Anything you want to add? Harapan kau untuk untuk kita punya Prudu?
Saya harap it will be something that Sabahans can be proud of lah. No matter the result, siapa yang jadi government kan, at this point kan, of course I still want to keep educating the people lah, but whoever forms the government kan, pasrah saja. I mean, I will pasrah, but I hope they do their job well lah, regardless siapa saja. Because orang bilang, just because you voted for this party and they end up not reaching your expectation, kita vote je lah, orang keluar balik. Begitu. So jangan, to the upcoming government, jangan disappoint Sabahans lah. Kau sudah janji-janji manis begini, and Sabahan sekarang semakin marah lah. Yeah.
Betul.
We can take it to social media, pergi demonstration. So bukan apalah, tapi you guys should be scared lah.
Kan?
Yeah, get your shit together lah.
Betul. I have one more thought yang saya tahu boleh buat ke tidak. Like when you pangka this guy, you kind of have to plan it out. Kalau dia menang, meaning dia kena bergabung atau buat begini. Kalau saya pangka dia, kalau dia menang, then this might happen. Then saya tidak akan happy. Then what do I feel next? Ada begitu kah?
Of course,
Kan?
because when there's a hang government, kau tidak tahu siapa dorang akan approach,
Yeah.
or siapa yang akan approach dorang.
Terus kau kena fikir, ini mesra dengan yang itu. Ini ngam dengan ini. Mesti dong. There's a lot of assumptions ni.
Langkah Kinabalu. Dorang, ini kita begini-beginilah. Dia macam, ini culture lah orang bilang.
Yeah.
Culture orang Sabah. Tapi bila kita mau stop, Stop lah, gitu bang.
Kan?
Don't do things behind our backs.
Yeah, that is also sangat penting. We need to know what's happening. Dia kena apa? Telus.
Ya.
Ada apa lagi?
Dia dah.
Ada kamu promote kah? IG kah? How do people look for you? Mau tahu ada lagi yang mau bersoal-soal jawab?
Saya macam sekarang nih saya rajin buat story lah di Instagram. So, saya akan keluarkan satu link bila orang boleh tanya soalan atau meluah. Anonymous lah, so jangan kamu takut. Saya expose kamu ke apa, it's anonymous. Kau tanya saja pasal anything about politics or Sabah. Saya akan jawab. Sebab banyak yang tanya saya, apa beza 40% sama 5%? Apa beza parlimen sama DUN? So, mungkin orang akan takut mau tanya tuh sebab dorang takut nampak bodoh. But then I say no, the time to learn is now. So just tanya. Begitu.
Siapa memang bodoh pun.
Sebab tidak orang ajar
Buat
kita.
pandai.
Saya pun belajar sendiri ya. Saya pun belajar sendiri. So whatever I know, I will share. Sebab
Saya banyak belajar benda dengan Fahmi Reza, Hai Mandak. Serious, like, because the infographics senang banget kamu paham. Ini di sini, yang, oh ya kan.
so that helps. Saya Gen Z banyak menolong lah, banyak edit. So kalau kamu expect yang orang-orang tuh edit kan yang orang pakai yang apa tuh word art tuh.
Ya, PowerPoint atau apa itu zaman saya tuh.
I mean it's okay, but since we have better technology apa sekarang kan, just use that lah for our advantage.
Hai Mandak pakai whiteboard siya pun. Rakat-rakat tuh.
Tapi desain dorang menarik.
Cantik lah, ya, betul. It's very appealing lah. Sangat senang paham.
So kalau kamu mau tanya soalan, kamu pergi saja IG @AtaliaJawaMojuntin. Ya.
JAUA ya.
Ya. Type Atalia aja pun mungkin muncul sudah tuh. Ada gambar cantik deh. Bukan.
Jangan Atalia Harun lah.
Hai.
Jazz singer. Atalia,
Yes.
boleh sudah?
Boleh.
Thank you for coming. Thank you for
Thank
saying
you
yes
for
to this.
inviting me.
I hope we did you justice. Ya, yang tahu lah.
Okay. Thank you. Sip Sip Show.
This has been very menjawab dan membingungkan. And we appreciate this. Now we know bukan kami sih yang bingung. Banyak lagi.
Banyak lagi.
So, okay lah. This has been a Sip Sip Show brought to you by Globes and Berhad, KKIFF, Alter for the Lights, Hari-Hari Korapok. Yeah, and we'll see you guys in the next episode.
The Sip Sip Show.